Alright, I think I hit the record button too late, so I had a little stutter step there. But we are going to try something here. It's a nice little experiment. At least I think it is. I'm just not sure how well it's going to do. Why not? Actually, yeah. It just gives me something to do. I don't want to go an entire turn without doing something. Aha. Falco Spara comes out. Now I can see what's coming up next in our deck. Okay, Sten comes out. We choose enchantment. We're making enchantments cheaper, which means Leyline Binding gets to be cheap. We're just going to go ahead and attack over the head with Falco. We'll give them a chance to do something and see if it's worse than Celebrity Fencer. It's an... let's see. We could get rid of that. We've got a moment. Let's see what they do.
We can save everyone.
Okay.
We fight together!
Yeah, you have fun fighting together. That's fine. They're not doing anything, so we're going to use the moment of our turn, get rid of the Fencer. And now we can cast this, right? Oh, this is beautiful. Okay, so here's the combo right now, and I can't believe we're getting it out on my very first playtest. We made enchantments cheaper. We use Falco to see things coming up at the top so we can cast things off the top of our deck. We're not going to look through things because I've got the big spell that I want already in my hand. I have to remove a counter in order to cast a spell. We read ahead to step 3. Put 2 non-saga permanent cards from my hand onto the battlefield. 7, 8, 9. That's 10 mana basically on turn 6. And now I can use one with the multiverse to cast that for 0. And then we go try and take out the Planeswalker. I could not have planned. I'm so glad I hit record. I was going to playtest this out first, but this was the dream right here. The name of the deck is called Cheap Enlightenment. That's fine. This does not have an enter into battlefield effect.
The sun.
Let's see. Can we stop Elish Norn? It doesn't look like it, does it? Let's go ahead and put down one with the multiverse. We can cast this for free. And we can cast this off the top of the deck. Let's see, what's the option? This way? There we go. What else can we do? We can do this. And we can do this. I think we're done. Okay, no attacks. Oh, sorry, I couldn't help but laugh. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 creatures, along with a way to pump them up. And 2-1 with the universe, so we could cast 2 free spells off the top of our library every single turn. Yeah, that's a fun deck. Alright, let's go show you the entire thing. Welcome to Tpull's Corner, everybody. We do crazy stuff, and every now and then it actually works. My name is Travis. We've had a few new subscribers over the past couple weeks, so I'm glad that you joined us for the ride. And if this is your first time here, we focus on free-to-play, so I don't burn my wild cards usually. I didn't burn any for the first 2 years. I'm into my 3rd year now, so I burned a lot of commons recently, which I actually think was a mistake. And I burned some rares to get some of the land, so I have like 4 copies of Sparse Headquarters and stuff like that finally. But I've been doing it sparingly just because I want to show how you could still have a fun deck, build your collection, play for free online, not just go heavily into debt with your hobby, and still have fun competitive decks. So the name of the deck is Cheap Enlightenment. What I was thinking was I had a deck that was like red, white, and blue, and you would throw one with the multiverse into the graveyard and bring it back with spells and that type of thing. And there was a lot of discard and drawing stuff, right? And that's one way of doing it. And it just occurred to me, maybe there's another way of doing it. So I started with the idea of Jukai Naturalist. Enchantment spells cost 1 less to cast. That's not a big deal, right? That would make one with the universe. If I had one of them down, it would cost 7 instead of 8. Maybe if I had 2 down, it would cost 6 instead of 8. But what else was there that I could do? Well, we have Sten, Paranoid Partisan. He's a legendary human wizard. When he enters the battlefield, you choose a card type other than creature or land. Spells of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. So now there's 6 different creatures in the deck that can make enchantments cost 1 less, because I would name enchantment each time. And I don't have Mirror Box, so I wouldn't have 2 copies of Sten out at the same time. So it's not like we'd have all 6 out. We might have, at the best, we could have 5 out, and that would make this cost 3. But let's take you through the rest of the deck. What we ended up doing was filling out what I wanted and then looking at the tri-colored cards. We have Tarkir Dune Shaper, a 1-drop Dog Warrior. For 5 mana, I can transform it into the Dune Stopper you see to the right, which turns into a 4/3 trample. So, maybe it can sneak under the radar without being removed for a while, and we can make use of it later. I've got 1 March of Otherworldly Light to exile cards. You can exile artifact creature, artifact, or enchantment with mana value X or less. And of course, if you have some white cards in your hand and you've got an emergency, you can exile those and make this spell cost 2 less to cast for each card you exile from your hand. We've got 1 Spirited Companion that lets us do a card draw. It's an enchantment creature, so it can be cheaper to cast. We have the Skyclave Aerialist, a Merfolk Scout, 2/1 flyer. Again, it's March of the Machines, so we can transform it into a 2/4 Skyclave Invader. When it attacks, you look at the top card of your library, and if it's a land card, you get to put it into the battlefield. We have Llanowar Loam Speaker that adds 1 mana of any color. We can also turn target lands into 3/3 elemental creatures with haste. And one thing I didn't mention on Sten, if we keep 3 mana open, one has to be white, 1 blue, you can exile Sten, return it to the battlefield. So if they try and kill it, remove it, exile it, if we have the 3 mana open, we can save him if they're not paying attention. Cemetery Prowler, 3/4 with Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, exile a card from a graveyard. We're looking to exile an enchantment so we can make it cheaper. I only have 1 copy of that. 2 copies of Broker's Ascendancy at the beginning of your end step. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty on each Planeswalker. No Planeswalkers in this deck. Broker's Charm, 4 copies of it. We could deal damage to creatures or Planeswalkers, destroy a target enchantment, or draw 2 cards. Nice flexibility on that card. The Disciplined Duelist, 2/1 double striker that has a shield counter, so yeah, I don't know what to say. This is a really nice card for 3 mana. You can do 4 damage, and if they've got a good big creature that's got like 4 health that would get a hit in, this thing still survives to come back and do another battle against somebody. 3 copies of Falcospar, the Pact Weaver. Flying and trample 3/3, comes into the battlefield with a shield counter on it. You can look at the top card of your library anytime. If you want, you can take a counter away from any creature you control. It could be this shield counter, it could be another shield counter, or another counter period that we have somewhere. And since we have Broker's Ascendancy, maybe counters are going to be easy to come by. Possibly. You can cast spells from the top of your library. And so that's a nice way of getting at the top of our library. We've got 1 source of card draw besides the 1 Spirited Companion. We've got Wiretapping, Hideaway 5. When you draw your first card during each of your draw steps, you draw a card. Then if you have 9 or more cards in hand, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. So Hideaway, as soon as you cast a spell, you look at the top 5 cards of your library, decide what card you want underneath wiretapping. It becomes exiled, and once you meet the conditions of the card, then you can just cast that card for free. So we need to get up to 9 in our hand. Tamiyo, completed Sage. We do have 1 Planeswalker, okay, so I forgot about Tamiyo. Forgive me. You can tap 1 artifact or creature for the +1. You can exile a target permanent card from the graveyard, create a token that's a copy of the card. So, maybe we can, exile Jukai and make things cheaper. It's got a emblem at -7. Well, not an emblem, but a notebook. And it's a legendary colorless artifact token. You see it to the right. And its spell suddenly costs 2 less to cast. Or you can just tap it and draw a card. So again, ways to make things cheaper. We've got Leyline Binding. We can flash it in. It costs 1 less to cast for each basic land type among lands you control. So we've got 3 of the basic land types. The most this will cost is 3. And depending on what else we have out, it could be even cheaper. 4 copies of Skyblessed Samurai. It costs 1 less to cast for each enchantment you control, and you saw at the end there, it was only costing us 1 white mana. So getting a 4/4 for 4/4 flyer for 1 mana is quite a nice cost savings. The World spell, that we might not do the first 2 chapters all and look at our stuff. If we like what we have in our hand, we'll just skip to chapter 3 and go for the win. But if we don't have what we need in our hand, we can go looking for a couple of turns. And then one with the Multiverse itself. Again, a way to look at the top card of your library in time. You can play lands and cast spells from the top of your library, and once during each of your turns, you can cast something for free, which I love. So 6 different cards here. Well, 3 of them are the same, right, of each, but 6 different chances to get a card where we can look at what's at the top of our library and make plans just with that information. For the land, we got 1 Aganjo, 1 Otawara, 1 Besiju, and a bunch of double lands, 4 Sparse Headquarters, and 1 Field of Ruin. And let's go look at our mana curve. This is an average 3.9 cost. Ouch! Lots of 9/6 drops. I got really tired of only putting in like 2 5 mana costing cards and getting both of them in my opening hand, and if I didn't mulligan, I would just die quickly. And I'm like, you know what? I want to play with some powerful cards for a change. And let's get some 7 mana cards. But, the way that I did it, I kind of cheat on the casting cost. So our real cost is not going to be 3.9. The way that we've engineered with all these different ways, Cemetery Prowler, maybe we get the emblem, we've got all these different ways to reduce our cost. Hence the name, Cheap Enlightenment. And with my luck, the only time it was going to work is the very first time, because Arena's nice to you usually when you create a brand new deck. We'll see if we can duplicate any of this again. No board wipes. Not a whole lot of interaction in terms of removing threats from the enemy. Usually the first naturalist you put down is struck down by a lightning bolt. Or play with fire. That is to be expected. Let's go ahead and force the issue with them, make them go get a mountain while we will get an island. Oh, we were going to have an island pop up anyway, weren't we? No, well. That's fine. We had no way of knowing. Two creatures out already. And what do we have? We have Falcospara with a shield counter. Yes. What can you do? Are you gonna try it? Really? We'll take you up on that. That taps you out. They take out our shield counter, then we take out them. We don't care about indestructible because we want to exile stuff. Let's see. That's an instant. That works. Let's just pass. We can actually afford to flash in Leyline Binding too, so we've got two different ways to handle things. We're hoping they don't just zap the Pact Weaver. We're hoping they're counting on being able to cast the invocation somewhere. Oh, hello.
Run away. You'll be safer. Show them how we greet our enemies.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Next.
Back off.
I'm expecting them to have things like play with fire and lightning bolt stuff. That's kind of gross. Ah, they did it wrong. They should have put it on Rabbit Battery because Rabbit Battery can hit me. And instead, we can just go over here, take care of that.
Years of training.
And I already have one of these. Deal damage. Boom. Gone. 5/5 creature nap. It's not that they can't do damage to us, but I feel pretty good. This kind of deck usually doesn't have a lot of removal against big creatures. And that's an enchantment, not an artifact, so you can't do anything against that there. You can ping me with your Rabbit Battery all you want. I know that sounds dirty, but it's not. And what do we do? I think we just keep eliminating stuff. Do I get rid of the enchantment? Let's get rid of the enchantment. And then we won't be tapped, we just won't even do an attack. We'll just stay and become a 6/6. If they have something like Leyline Binding, they can get rid of the Pact Weaver. But otherwise, we're feeling pretty good. double strike won't do them any good, so we're holding them off. And so now it's time to do stuff like this. No attacks. Let Broker's Ascendancy do its build-up. Ape Warrior, so that's a warrior, so that could be 6. I can't quite do World Spell yet, but we can cast that for relatively cheap. Now I kind of don't care what you put out. The only thing you can do is a board wipe. Still not good enough. Two, three, four. Yes. We'll remove one counter from Pack Reaver. And now we can still do Leyline Binding. If they have a surprise, we've got one on them. Would they want double strike on this? And then they attack with just it. 5, 6, 7. There's Rizona. Bum rushing me is not going to do any good with all of them. They'd lose 4 of their 6 creatures. Are they going to try this? Try it. What is that? That would be an 8 with double strike? They don't do it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I am the hand that chronicles Phyrexia's rise. Bow before Phyrexia.
Really? Okay, so that's 12 and 3, but they don't have double strike. I've got double strike. Do they have a trick? No, they just run it into the ground. I never touched him. Well, maybe, I forget, did I fly over once and hit him with Falco at the beginning? I think I did. Well, there's 2 different ways we won. One by just going overwhelming firepower and about to be able to knock them out in one hit with all of our cheap casting stuff really early. And this time we just sort of sat back and waited. So either way works. Typically, I've gotten frustrated because people just sit back and wait with Shieldred alone and let their every time you draw a card, you lose 2 points due to Shieldred being out do the work. But you know, that's kind of the enchantment that we have there. I don't have a 2-mana spell, so it's okay to play the tap land there. Streets of New Capenna rules, right? We're playing with 3 colors. By the 3rd turn, we have all 3 available. And if they get rid of an Undead Butler, they're going to get an Undead Butler, so... Perfect. Now this, if this is the Grave Matters pre-made deck, they have different types of removal. They have an Exile effect that can get rid of stuff like this. This... Let's go ahead and just destroy the enchantment. That way they're not milling stuff, and we'll just go ahead and attack. We've got first strike, so all they can do is go get another Undead Butler out. And they don't even bother. They're hoping they can make it good later. Okay. Next, Sten comes out. Enchantments are what we need. And we bring out our second Discipline Duelist, and we attack with the one we have. They should want a chump block, right? Because they get the 2/2 out. But we don't care about 2/2s because we have people with double strike for 2. And they don't really have a way to pump these up. In Cold Conscript, I've got a playlist of the pre-mades, and we dissected the Grave Matters one, and my diagnosis was Cold Conscript had to go. It was not a good card. Now, you can make it good. I mean, there are ways to keep bringing it back to the battlefield and just using it as a chump blocker or using it as fodder for removal. I can understand having one of them in the deck, but having 2 is complicated, especially if you get them early on. And I've got double strike, so useless. I think we just draw 2 cards. I don't think we want to save that. We want to just keep moving. And this only cost 1, right? So here, let's make sure that they can't use it again. There, you're gone. You have nothing left on the field. You're dead in 2 turns. What can you bring back? What's left? A Doomed Dissenter or an Undead Butler? That's all you've got. Oh, you could bring back the Crawling Infestation. Really? Seriously? That's your big idea? I got rid of one of my shield counters. And I have 3 of my most expensive cards in my hand. Okay, that gets exiled due to its own nature. That's what happens to Gloomshrieker. If it dies, you exile it. That's just part of the card. We will get rid of the one who doesn't have the shield counter. They can't afford to cast anything else. I just need 1 more land so I can get the Samurai down. Oh, they do have... Oh, those can't block. And more expensive cards that I can't afford to do anything with. If they get another Gravelighter, they can make me sacrifice the Duelist. They draw land. Not enough? Do they mill and get a chump blocker? No, because the milling doesn't occur until the beginning of their upkeep. This has flashback, right? But it costs 5. And a Leyline Binding, which I could rub salt in the wound and use it on their enchantment, but we won't. Didn't even need one with the multiverse. Yeah, they should have upgraded that and gotten rid of the Cult Conscript. At least 1 copy. Campus renovation. Okay. That's a fascinating card. I could have fun with that card. I think that's my first copy of that. Maybe my second. I think it's my second. I haven't made a deck with it yet, though. For Cold Conscript, you really need to plan more to focus the deck around having Cold Conscript and having more ways to use it within the deck, so it occurs to make value out of it more often than the pre-made Grave Matters deck does. You would think there would be a lot. Sometimes there is if you get the cards in the right order, but I just found way too great a frequency that 1-drop comes in and it's just too... It's not useful enough. Not early enough. 2 or more, 2 or fewer. Okay. And we put out our enchantment creature to match their enchantment creature. They've got 3 colors already. How dare you? Okay, 2 or more. They could have 3 more of those. Hopefully they don't have a second one right away. They don't. Good. Okay. So, you come out. We attack. They chump block. That was worth it. They say 4 points of damage, right? But now, double strike combined with Broker's Assembly. Or, sorry, Ascendancy. If they can't get rid of this or get rid of this, this can get out of control pretty fast. Streets and New Capenna rules, you saw, we got, each of us, we got all 3 of the stuff that we needed. That's already on the stack, right? How many is that? 4? Okay. My turn. I don't like the lifelink. Go away, please. Jump block again. Now just don't have removal. Let me get in one good... Oh, we don't get in one good hit. Okay. Next. You won't get us with the invasion of Karsus again because we're already out of range of it this time. I don't have anything of 1 or less. Cycle. Oh yes. Lifelink. Let's hear it for 6/6 creatures. I don't have anything to bring back from my graveyard, so I don't care about that. They might have, like, breached the multiverse or something. Oh, man. Well, that's a problem. That was also probably a top deck. They don't care about dealing damage for points anymore, they care about poison now. And I have just done nothing but flood out with lands. This is usually a sign that they want me to die. And by they, I mean arena. Wizards of the Coast. I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They got 8 lands. I got 2 already. Oh, shoot. I don't want to cancel the blocks. Make sure I don't misclick. Okay, down to 6 poison counters. Attack. That's a gamble. But if they have another White Sun's Twilight, I'm doomed anyway, right? Ugh. Non-legendary creatures? Ahaha! I have a shield counter. Neener, neener, neener. Auto pay.
My flesh was a sickness.
Tap nothing.
Now I am cured.
You do not
Attack
write
for
this
12.
story.
Sorry for talking over you, Tamio. That's 2 board wipes they've had. And another one. Okay. That's a 3rd board wipe. And they leave. We were going to get the emblem. We were going to draw a couple cards. Life was going to be good. And normally people whomp all over my face and get me down to 3, 2, or 1 life point, and then when I finally turn the corner, then they leave. In this case, we had so much lifelink, They were the ones that were bruised and beaten and decided they had enough. It's really just such a fun relief to be able to play a deck that has cards that cost more than 5 mana for a change. It's been kind of a frustrating couple of weeks. Oh. They knew it was this deck, but they saw my name. It was probably they didn't have the right deck configuration for their opening hand, but the story is they saw the name Tpull, they got frightened, they ran, because they know what's happening today with this deck. I'm combining two of my favorite themes in the game, casting things without paying the mana cost and looking at the top card of my deck. There are certain things that I enjoy about the game. I like drawing cards. I like the extra information from looking at the top of my deck. I like discounts. Anytime that I can create a concept that takes advantage of some of the very things that I like most about the game, I'm always very pleased when they work out that well. Don't have a 1 mana spell, so there we go. And that is kind of bad. Especially if we're playing against mono white, or mono red. It looks like we are. Can we last long enough to get out what we need to get out? I would guess not, actually. Ouch. Okay, if they have another one of those, we can use the Leyline's Binding. They want to get rid of my creature now. Can't block. Okay. Down to 5. You can cast that for... Oh, no. Yeah, that's a problem. And this is different from the normal decks. Instead of a tight 60-card deck, they have more than 100 cards. But you notice they still got a whole bunch of 1 and 2 mana cards, as well as an early Urborest Forge. And we just put out a Forge deck yesterday, and I commented on how easy it is to get the Forge really early on. That one can't attack, so I can take out Kamano, but I'm going to take 2 more points now. I drew a second one with the multiverse out of the entire deck, and it wasn't working out for me. And if they have a simple 2 damage spell, they can take out the samurai too. Oh, hello. Crap in a hat. That means I have to block that. They've got all the cheap spells they need. And there's not enough left for me to do. So we won too many games in a row. They not only put us up against mono red, but they put us up with a mono red with an extra 40 cards that still is just full of nothing but 1, 2, and 3 mana cards. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. I've got 2 life left. I did what I could. Wiretapping wasn't going to help me. This is for the mid game when I know that I'm going to last a little bit longer. Okay, I don't know why they're taking for mono red. They're taking way too long. Okay, we had our mandatory loss. The Wizards team that spies on my game saw that I had a 100% winning ratio. Said, nope, can't have that. Send in the mono red. Oh, and make sure to give them 2 8 mana costing spells at the very beginning. Just to be on the safe side. That works. I can use Field of Ruin to destroy that if I don't get my blue mana. The Samurais again. Okay. Well, they gave me that. So let's just go ahead and put this down. Pact Weaver or Broker's Ascendancy? Broker's Ascendancy it is. I'm still kind of vulnerable here. Now we're feeling better. This looks like the same deck, doesn't it? That's not the same user. We're going to take one more hit. Destroy target enchantment. They can sacrifice this and make it indestructible if they want. Now we got 2/5/5. I'm feeling better now. Well, I was feeling better. Did they go up to 7? Well, I guess one for each samurai. So now they can do that. I guess I'm going to give up my shield counter here. And they didn't sacrifice that. I don't know what are they... Oh, well, they're holding up priority because they can always sacrifice this at any moment, so it's always up to them. They can hold up priority every single step along the way. They're kind of running out of ammo now. This is okay for me to use as a chump blocker on anything. I want to keep these two okay. Let's see, red and green. So they can get past Falco. And it's got double strike. And that's my chump block. They're coming up with some nice stuff, aren't they? Oh, I did that wrong. Shoot. That's got green in it. Okay, we're still okay, right? Because now there'll be 7/7. Sten can block. They're not drawing me on land. Oh, shoot. That is messed up. That's just a top deck and a half. Eight, 5 with double strike. I have to chump block with Sten now. And I don't have enough to exile him and bring him back up. And they can just... I can tap down... Let's see, we bring this down. They can just move the sword over anytime they want to anybody. Arena, you fix this. This was not in the previous deck.
The future is written in oil and steel.
And I can't tap them down, right? Because I've got green. I can't even tap them down. I'm dead. Let's see. What can I exile from my... Is there anything in my graveyard that can help? I can get back the Skyblessed Samurai. No, I can't. It's too high mana value. Okay, I can do... From my graveyard, I can get Sten out. I need a creature that doesn't have green in it. It's Arena gave these guys... I had enough for Sten to protect from one of these. They top deck a second one, and then they've done nothing but give me the green-colored creatures out of my deck. The tri-colored creatures as opposed to anything else in the entire deck. And all this is good for is one more block. And what happened to them? This is only giving me one more turn, and all I'm going to do is end up drawing the Duelist next anyway, right? If I keep Pact Weaver alive, there might be something under there that I could use to exile maybe one of those cards. There's two of them. I can't do anything against two. Why are they bothering to rope? This is a forced loss. To have something that has protection from one of my three colors, and then to make sure that I only get that color coming up when the rest of my deck is blue and white.
History belongs to Phyrexia.
Instance, I guess? Don't think it mattered. It doesn't do them good to attack with anything else, but they can just send through the Geist again, and I can chump block with Sten. And then there has to be something under here that I can remove a counter with Falco to play. But all I would do really is maybe exile one of the two, and they still be able to get through with the next one. They just equip any other creature. Are they just trying hard to try and kill me this turn? If they have removal, they can do it. It's not like I'm going to be able to hit them for 47 points of damage in the next... What in the world? What just happened? I just went through the entire way. You had me beat. It's protection from green. I can't tap you with Tamiyo. Tamiyo's green. I can't block you with either one of those. Those are green. The next creature coming up is green. All you had to do was hit me twice. Once this turn with Twin Blade, and once again next turn. Okay, that's a little weird. We're going to end it there. I'm going to show you the deck one more time. I just don't want the video to go too long. We remind everybody, if you're new, subscribe. If you liked what you see, like the video. I don't get nearly enough likes. Yeah, I have 2 of Campus Renovation now. Alright, except for when they put up protection against my color, it's doing pretty good. Of course, fast decks like Mono Red can take it out. We might have had a chance against Mono Red under other situations, but we had 2 of these. 2 of the 3 most powerful spells up front. Arena does that to me when they want me to lose. That's just what happens. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the performance of the deck. I like the concept. I don't think I would change anything. Maybe I could switch out one of these non-enchantment creatures that never showed up for an additional type of interaction or removal card. And possibly there's an argument to be made that we could have one board wipe in here. I don't know. What do y'all think about the board wipe? Let me know in the comment if I should have a board wipe in there or not. But otherwise, I like it. I'm keeping it. All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.